Yes, thank you so much. All right, next we have Jason. Jason Magabo Perez is the author of Phenomenology of Superhero, Red Bird Chapbooks 2016, and This is for the Mostless, Word Tech Editions 2017. I'm reading the edited bios. Currently, Perez lives in San Diego, California, and serves as Associate Professor of Ethnic Studies at California State University, San Marcos, and is 2023-2024 San Diego Poet Laureate.
Maria just emailed you my bio. But I didn't tell you because I didn't want to throw you off. Anyways. I was being real difficult. I cut out like 95% of the bio, but I'm happy to celebrate Christian and their wonderful, wonderful book. So thank you to Sunday Jump. I'm going to just read 2 short poems, maybe talk about them a little bit. 2 poems that I haven't really read a lot, and I just felt it was a good place to offer them in honor of Chris's book. Was that exclusive? And so I was fortunate enough to help curate an art exhibition, an online art exhibition, sort of in the middle of the pandemic through the Bolosan Center for Filipinx Studies. I was asked to write a curatorial statement, and then I realized I didn't know how to do that. And so I wrote what I like to call a curatorial ekphrasis, right? Which is just a response to all the work. I was just making shit up, right? And it was my statement, and so I wanted to read it. There was just a number of wonderful works, hybrid works, multidisciplinary works that were by artists all over the diaspora, in particular, mostly based in the U.S. And so I wanted to read this piece, which is also in part after Carlos Bolosan. It's called Of Everywhere, and that was the name of the exhibit. Of Everywhere. I see ghostly hands in open mouths of desire. I see diaspora as complex abandonment. I see diaspora as resistance. I see resistance against compulsory colonial realisms. I see real rivers swallowing real shadows, swallowing real snakes, swallowing real everywhere. If I sleep, I am haunted by the mad furious, the root threat, the threat of mistake. I am haunted by burn of salt, by stacked tin cans of flesh, by ocean of history. If I plant, I grow devil, I grow child, I grow ruin, I grow wound, I grow carabao heads everywhere. I am multitudes everywhere, everywhere in such unexpected hours. Poor hug their hunger in pig-blooded traffic flame, in the fog of birth, in the scream of wind, and alterity of everywhere marches, and everywhere of alterity marches. Here my loneliness is slowed. Here my loneliness is nuanced. Mabuhay, Angelo Quinto. Oh, Angelo Quinto, mabuhay. If I wake, I am listening. If I wake, here is a passport to afterlives. Here is an afterlife of everywhere, of everywhere. So I just wrote this poem. So I wrote this poem, right? Being part of being in the San Diego Laureate position, you're asked to do weird things. And so our mayor, who happens to be a queer Filipino native Alaskan dude, we're navigating that relationship, but he's supportive, and I think he invited me to read this poem, or to read a poem at the state of Balboa Park. If you know San Diego, Balboa Park is like the crown jewel of the city. And so I thought, oh, this would be interesting to write about the park with a bunch of white folks in the room, and really rich people who support the park and the museum and sort of all those things. And so this is about Balboa Park and sort of what I sort of interpret and encounter as Balboa Park. I think a lot of these sort of national parks or these really important parks to our cities. And so this is called the Future Perfect Park of Possibility.
Okay, alliteration.
First peoples first. The bell tower will have learned Kumayai bird songs here in the park of tomorrows, a park of accumulated yesterdays, a park anticipating all futures. Let the gourd rattle talk to us, let first peoples teach us, land before property, song before policy. I promise you, tonight this park will have planned its own futures. Tonight this park will have planted its own futures, and here a seed of remembrance. Butterflies will have experimented with love of their own bodies in the butterfly garden. Elsewhere in the park, we will have inhaled the soft healing of smoke from burning copal and sage, and danzantes will have protected us as we will have marched for liberation, for the land, for the four directions, for our futures, for our ancestors, from here through downtown and back. Each blade of grass here, each underground root here, each root reaching for us here will have known the weight of migrations, weight of settlements, of sorrow, of joy, weight of relentless freedom dreaming. I swear, these trees will have known our hands, they will have known our knees, they will have known their own migrations, and they will have known the tender souls of our marching feet. Off Park Boulevards, poets will have rested fragments and lyrics inside the soundscape. We will have been inside the beats of drum circles as capoeiristas will have bent their bodies against the space-time continuum. We will have heard overhead airplanes of both departures and arrivals, hopes and fears. Meanwhile, at the centro, youth in thrifted nylon and leather and denim will have queered a quinceañera. And not a moment too soon there will have been planted somewhere at this park a rainbow bouquet of discarded toothbrushes collected from the Sonoran desert. Peace will have been to the migrants and their familias. Peace will have been to the Tohono O'odham peoples and their land. In this park of possibility, atop 4 square feet of dance floor, a tap dancer will have tapped in rhythm with the soft flapping of butterfly wings. In this park of dreams, we will have never forgotten to tip the keyboardists playing 80s jams in the hallway outside the old Globe. We'll have never forgotten to tip the guitarist reciting Bob Dylan and Bob Marley in the sweetest voice of resistance. There will have been a performance artist who will have restaged history to photograph our future as feminists. There will have been so many anti-disciplinary artists reminding us that our future is indigenous, is black, is queer. Our future is freedom, a future for us all. This is a park where we will have fallen in love again at the Organ Pavilion, or on the bridge over the 163, or at the edge of a parking lot again and again. This is a park where I promise a profound and fiercely tender love for people, for land, for water, for sky will have taught us what it means to sincerely care for us here. Thank you. Congratulations.